No. So what we have seen, we just created our new app. We just added different tables. We added the tables to sitemap. We created various areas. We created various groups, and we created our own custom app. In that custom app, for each table level, we have created the forms, sections, everything based upon our need, right? Also, we have seen, we explored the field types. What do you mean by business rules? What do you mean by calculated field? What do you mean by role of field? Like that, we have seen, right? After that, after the user experience, we have seen the security, how security model works in the CRM, how it will, the login user see the, will able to see the apps, how login will able to see the tables, how login will able to see the records, and what is the column security profiles, and what is the business units, what is the teams, everything we have seen, right? Now today we are going to learn in the advanced settings. We have various sections, right? So today we are going to see data management. So in the first class, if you remember properly, what I said, whatever you created data, that will be stored in a table and record format, right? Suppose if you want to create a one record, you will be creating from UI. Suppose if you want to create some hundreds of records, thousands of records, it will take a lot of time to create, right? So there needs a lot of effort. So so in this data management section, we will be seeing the all that data related operations. We have covered security. Now we are moved to data management. Now here, what we have first default, duplicate detection settings, duplicate detection rules, duplicate detection jobs. Basically, what it means, so suppose any system you want to maintain, basically you will be looking for the data significance, right? Data maintenance, right? So you have to make unique data. So you want to check the, you don't want to have the any junk data in the system. Like that, you want to keep it right. More clean data, like more well managed data. So while creating, if you see here, I just created SR University two times. So this is kind of a duplicate, right? But whenever you have a duplicate, that will interpret. Suppose if you are using any reports based upon this, if you have duplicates, if you are allowing duplicates, that will impact the reports generation or the calculations, right? Real time analytics. So to restrict that kind of behavior, we will be using the duplicate detection. Okay. So by CRM, by default, it will be supporting some setting. Now, if you see, whenever I'm creating this SR University, it didn't say anything to me. At least I just able to create. If we create now also, it won't say anything. It will be simply giving. It will allow me to save, right? So I'm just clicking on save. If you have any, okay. Now one more also I'm created. So right now we are not doing any kind of violation on the records. You are simply allowing accepting. Now, in this data management 6, what they will allow, right? They will enable duplicate detection. Okay. So select default duplication settings for your organization. So when a record is created or updated, so if you see the here, when detect duplicate supply, when a record is created or update, when Microsoft 365 for Outlook gets from offline to online, during data import. Data import means we will learn later. Importing data from external data to CRM. Okay. So in all these places, it will be applicable. Okay. So I'm just selecting all. So once this is enabled, so you will be have different entities, right? So you need to mention at entity level for which entity you want to create rule. Now if you see here, you are clicking on duplicate detection rule. You will have a records here. These are the default out of the box duplicate detection tools. Okay, if you see, all of them are like system. This is created by me. This is I only created for same account name. Okay, so the remaining all created by system are the out of the box duplicate detection tools. Now I'm gonna create a new. So here, what is our entity? We are for the student feedback entity. We have what you call, we have student entity, student feedback entity, right? Now, if you just click on this and you give any college name check. Here, select the base record type. So I want to check on the student feedback only. Okay, so I have to choose student feedback here. ST, student feedback. Now here you are getting, you have to matching with the same entity, right? So you can control another entity as well. It's like account versus contact, account versus customer, account versus some custom entity. You can keep like that. So right now I'm using student feedback only. There is ST. Now, if you see, you want to see case sensitive or exclude inactive records, like that, you can check this. Now, before this, I want to show one more thing. So, why by default it is showing student feedback? We have some other entities, right? We have games. Is it showing games as well? Let's see. Games, but also showing. So, how does it know? Like, I should I should show this record here. So, in general, whenever you are creating an entity, we have a flag in the entity properties where we will mention duplicate detection rules need to be applied or not. Okay. Now if you see, this is my solution, right? Here, if I go to entity properties, let's go to this games board, click on properties. If you see advanced options, apply duplicate reductions, we selected yes. That's why it is showing here. Suppose if we select uncheck here, it will disappear from then. Now let's do that. So right now here in this duplicate section, you are able to see games board as well, right? As I have checked, it will go. So means at table level you are controlling for which new for which thing you want to have it. Now I just publishing all my changes to reflect it at the server level. Now I will do a hard refresh here. So you can do Control F5 or reload the page. The best practice you do hard refresh, then only it will reflect. Otherwise the changes won't reflect. Now I'm just giving college name check name. Description I'm giving the same. If you see status recently published, here I'm selecting the student feedback, right? Before that, I just want to see games board. Uh, Now, if you see games board still appearing, means it's not reflected. Okay, let me do hot refresh. Publishing succeeded. I did a hot refresh. It load. Now here I'm just creating the same. I'm giving the name, college name check. Select games for still showing. Okay, we will refresh some. We will first create our rule on student. Okay, where is student feedback? Is TU. So here also I will be, I want to apply the unique name for student feedback, right? So I have to select the same entity. Now here, if you want to make it case sensitive, you can select this checkbox. Otherwise, no issues. Case sensitive means say same letters. Here I'm giving SR University in the capital side. So if you give SR University with same capitals, it will detect. If you give small SR University, it will ignore. That's the main case sensitive. Exclude inactive matching records. In general, we will have active, all these are active records, right? If you have any record, it won't check across that inactive. Okay. So I'm not selecting anything, Select base attribute. So which one attribute we are want to see? This is our first one is the name, right? So I have to keep name. And the name I want to make it unique. Criteria rule, exact match, or if you want to keep first characters or like that. So as we are selecting exact match, number of characters it's not showing anything. If you keep same first characters, you need to mention 2 or 4, how many characters you want to have it. Okay, now ignore blank values. So I'm selecting this. Now I'm saving this. So once you save, you have publish. The rule cannot be created as the because it would cause the punch code length. Cannot be created observed because it would cause the match code length to exceed the maximum limit. What is this? I am selecting name, exact match. I'm not selecting anything. You have two notifications. The rule condition cannot be created or updated because it would cause the match code length cannot come. Let me check this error. So in general, if you go to Google or ChatGPT, you can search this as this. Keep MH365 CRM at the end. To fix match code length, X minimum length. You must reduce the total character length of the fields in your typical rules to under 450 characters by either moving the list characters. So if you see in this case, I might have for the student feedback the name is more than 450 or something. Let's check that. So this is the default OOB field, right? Name. So I'm going to columns. So where is my field? This is the name. Here we have 450. I'm just making it 100 to support duplicate detection. Okay, that's what it is suggesting, right? To reduce the, you must reduce the total character length of the fields in your duplicate detection to under to 450 characters by either removing the list character feature using your distribution of the settings. Okay, I just made the change. Now I will publish it. Now, once it is published, I will do a hard refresh. Now I will create a. Now, meanwhile, I will create one more entity to show you exactly. So I will create a new entity. In that, I will be choosing. I will uncheck that allow duplicate detection. Okay. So you can find that table with advanced properties. Here in the advanced options, I will be unchecking apply duplicate detection tools. So my mobile data. Let's control this is a mobile entity. Selecting as is, I am unchecking this, clicking on create. Now let's done this hot refresh, empty cache, hot reload. Now I'm going to, it is already loaded. So I'm just giving college name check. What is my base entity? Student feedback, right? So parallelly, I will be selecting mobile. You have mobile. Why it is showing? Okay. Student, ST. ఇంట్లో now I'm selecting name. Now if you see, even I was on a, I don't remember this 450 limit is needed. So the when you really create only, you will be knowing the issue. Now also you're getting cannot crop com.com sensitive data. You are getting some other. So all this error you will be knowing once you do practice only. If you simply listen anything, any document, anything, you won't get this errors anything, right? So like this, that's why we need hands-on. The difference between the self-learn and the real hands-on will be we can identify easily based upon the answer you are telling everything. So that's why create too many fields, too many tables, and explore everything. So you will get this all. Issue the repeat detection. So meanwhile, let me try with. We have one more account table action, right? Let me use that. Now, if you see here, accounts with same account name I just created, that is published. So if you see here, here I just selected account table, account name exact match null. Now if we go, we have added account as well, right? Go to this accounts. Now let's, we don't have any. Let's assume. Now I'm just creating like account star one. So when I'm creating account as one again, it will show the alert. You need to tell me now. Now we see duplicate record form. So like this, it will pop, it will give a kind of notification to you. Do you want me to create the same record again? Like that, okay? So this is the use of, see, if you see still it is allowing to ignore and save. Means it is giving a pop-up. It means it will just tell you, but still you can want to create a duplicate, then you can create it. So that's the duplicate detection rules won't block you. It will give you a kind of alert. Okay. Now here in the data management, we have seen duplicate detection. We have created a rule here. Now if you see, we have duplicate detection job. So basically job is to identify if you want to have existing data. So if you want to create any duplicate detection job, it will run on the existing entity. So what is the table you want to use? Here you will mention the table, and here we will be using the all accounts. Like that, when we want to run this job, like that you will be mentioning. So email options, if you want to notify anyone else. So duplicate detection is processed when the background you can continue to use them. So like this, it will run in the backend. It will notify the people. Like after it is executing, it will send an email to RJ. So these many what you call duplicates are found like that. Any questions here? Good. One Now if you see, we have seen how to enable duplicate detection settings. Then we have created roles. Now then here we create jobs. Now bulk record deletion. So basically, if you have hundreds of data, if you want to delete entire data. So if you see here you have selecting this record, you can delete this 20, you can delete two records. Suppose if we have some 10,000 records, in this view, it will show only, at max, it will show 250 records. So if you see here, right now we have only 6 records now. In general, in any active view, it will show only 250 records at max. So in such scenarios, if you want to delete, suppose 10,000 records, so you need to select each 250 at once. You have to delete them like 200 times, right? So to avoid such kind of manual operations, you will be creating bulk delete. So in this job, what you will be mentioning, you will be mentioning which entity you want to delete, everything same like, okay? Select records and which entity you want to use, view. Bulk deletion will start, then it will send an email, same like that one. So no one will be using this job, but this is kind of a feature for cleaning data, okay? Any questions? So now we have seen data management in this fourth one. And next, the data methods. Now, so far you are creating entity, you are creating records from the UI. Suppose I want to create records from the backend, or suppose I want to export this records data out of CRM. So for that purpose, we have Excel import, Excel out import export to Excel option is there. So basically, export to Excel means whatever the records you are selecting here, that will be exported to Excel and it will be downloaded to your local. Okay. If I click like this, so here you got Excel, right? If you open it, will open in your local. So I am opening this. So in this Excel, you could see like a normal table rows format. So you will have a rows columns, right? So each field will be a column. Records will be like Excel. So name is my column, right? So it is a no, name is my field, right? So it will be like a Excel. Now you have suppose, so this way you will be adding by default you are getting two fields here. Suppose what I want to have entire entity information. In such scenarios, you have to add all fields. Which field you want to add to the Excel? Okay, let's like this. You need to add. Now, what will happen if you export this? Apply the data. Everything will be shown here. Now, if you export to Excel, all the columns you will be getting. So you got the Excel now. I am opening the new Excel. So if you see, you have name, you have created, you have create percentage, you have everything. Everything will be available in the Excel. So like this, you can use your CRM data outside of system with Excel. Okay. Now this is all about sending data to outside to CRM. So what if you have data in the Excel format? Now you want to make it to make it to CRM. You want to add it to CRM. So for that purpose, we will be using import to Excel. If you see, just now we have seen export to Excel, right? Now you have to use import to Excel. Now for that import to Excel, you have two options: import from XML, import from CSV. CSV means comma delimited operation in the Excel. Now if you see here, if you click on save as, you will get the option Excel workbook, Excel binary, something. Then you will see CSV, comma delimited. So basically to import record to CRM, we will be using CSV format. Okay. Now I'm just rename this file name because we have already same file name. Active student feedback import. Now I'm just clicking on save. Now if you see, I just have the using the same tables, same records already we have, whatever we have same table and you have this same data. Now by default, you don't know this format, right? What are the columns you have anything. For that purpose, we will be using this data mappings. So in the data mappings, you will be defining what column you want to define everything. Suppose if you click on import, select a file, you have to choose it. Let me select this file only. So what is my file? I have to choose all files. This is my lesson file, right? Import. The file cannot support to select an XML file. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let me save this record first. Now this is my active feedback import, right? Now here I am just adding one few more columns. I'm just putting copy paste. You can't paste is here because the copy area must be not the same size. Why it is not allowing? Let me try copy again. So I just copied here. So names I'm changing. I want to make a unique name as to identify the college import one. So in general, they will be having some. So if I drag here, I'm just changing this name. So my file is ready. Now I have this data, everything. Now I want to create the records. So how do you create? So you have imports, right? You need to click on import. So here you have my imports, import data. You have to choose it. Now it will ask you to choose the file, data file name. What is my file name? CSV, right? This file, this one I'm selecting, clicking on next. Now here you need to map the data for which Excel column you have to map it with the which table record. So I'm using default automatic mapping. So click on next, it will go. Here you have to choose the source data file is my Excel. Microsoft Dynamics 365 record type. What is my record type? Student feedback, right? So you have to select student feedback. I just chosen. So it is the data file successfully mapped to the target. So if you don't have any conflict, it will say tick mark like green. Otherwise, it will give errors. Now if you see again, it is asking the individual field mapping. Aggregate is aggregating mapping. Modified and this is OB field, right? I am ignoring. This is OB, I am ignoring. This is I am ignoring. Now if you see college fee base, this is you can ignore. Created by, if you want to map anything, you can use that. So by default, it is map. It will try to map all. If you want to skip anything, you can skip it. Like skip, not map, ignore, create a new field. If you don't have any field in your target system, you need to create. I am just selected all student profit for also ignore. So I just selected by default mapped only, clicking on next. Now what will happen whenever you click on allow duplicates? Here also it is saying duplicate records will be determined based on the duplication detection settings. So do we have any setting? Based upon that it will detect. Otherwise it will ignore. So if you say again it is saying data map name, save this data map for future imports. I'm just giving like student feedback. Sure, I'm submitting it. So when you submit it, it will take some time to reflect. You can click on finish. The job will be shown here. Here, like what is happening that. So total parsing, it is showing status is parsing. The total proceeding records is 12. We have 12 rows we have added, right? Transforming. Now it is changing. If you refresh again, you have 6 succeeded, 6 errors. Okay. Now, if you click on this record, it will show why it is failed. Everything you can see that like what happened, what is the failure record, what is the failure, everything you can see. What are failures? So why those are failed? We have 6 failure, right? The source dot is in the required format. Column header is created on. So it's unable to map created on. And success, we will have how many records it is succeeded, it will show. Any questions here? So like this, whatever the job you imported, you can see the results for them. Now, if I go back to here, if I refresh here, I would get 12 records now because I imported from Excel. Now you have imported once. Suppose if you want to modify some data within already available. So that time you will be using Excel format only, not CSV. So to create a fresh records, that time only you will be using CSV. To update existing data, you will be using Excel format. Now I am just exporting this, export to Excel. So the new Excel will be created. I just open this. Let it open. So these are 12 records we have, right? VNR, executive. Suppose if we want to modify any column, see here I want these are like in order. So I want to make it like 2. I want 3. Okay, we don't have 4, so I will change 4. Like that, if you want to do anything, you can change the all columns, each column. So SR inverse you have to. I will make it as what is that? SCS something. So you have one more duplicate. So suppose if you want to do any correction to the existing data, you can export to the table, export to the Excel. You can modify it. You can change it. Okay. Now like this, I'm modifying. It's not only name field. You can modify. You can't modify the OV field. You can modify aggregate here. Anything. Like suppose I am keeping 70 here. So I am updating 70 to all. College fee also, if you want to modify, you can modify. So everything, whatever the modify, if you want to modify, you can modify. Okay. So now I'm just saving it. So here I downloaded the Excel format. I'm just reusing that, right? So let's go back to our data input section. So where is our data input? Here you can click on imports again. Now also you're using import data, right? So you need to click on import data. This time you will be selecting the recent file, Excel file, not CSV file. So this is my Excel file. So clicking on next. So just clicking on submit. So click on finish. It will see parsing. The data will be used for parsing, transforming, everything it will happen. You click on again transforming. So click again. It will complete it. Now you have error some error. So why we are hearing the creator has some data, right? Maybe that is causing issue. So if you see click on errors, you will say import student profile photo. It is causing some error. So in general, we just added all fields, right? But in the best practice, they as I want to modify only name, aggregate percent. I will be keeping only those two. I will be not adding all to Excel because if you are adding too many things, you have to handle all the validations for those fields, right? So if you want to do whatever you want to do, you need to include those field only. Suppose I want to update college name, you have to use only college name field like that. So I will do it again. So I'm removing this create and also I don't need it. So I'm just exporting college name. This is downloaded. So now I'm just modifying these names. Okay. So here I'm just keeping everything as the same name. Going back to imports, clicking on import data. Select the file. Click on submit. Now it will do updates, parsing, transforming. Pushing, transforming. So basically it will do the all the mapping, everything, whether you have given right data, everything it will do validation. That's why you are seeing it is taking some time to make it transforming it still. Refreshing again. Completed now. If you refresh this page, I have total to one, right? If I refresh, everything will be like 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. I just rename it like that. Okay. So this is the in general you will be using for data modification or you want to create some new record. We will be using like this. Okay. Any questions here? Now let's go back to our section. We have seen duplicate detection data maps. So while creating the Excel, I just added one data map, right? So here you might getting the active data map, student feedback, like that. Instead of if you want to create from scratch, you have Excel. Instead of that, as I have Excel, right? So I just added the name in the reverse way. Okay, you have that in the import section. You could see what are the imports you have applied, everything. Whether how many success. These are my imports. If you want to see everyone, you can see from the all imports. So whoever working on this. Now templates for data import. So if you want to have any particular format, you will be using this. Okay. So here if I want to use student feedback, so I will be using that. So template. So now it will say it will give the format. So like I just downloaded. So what are the columns we have everything. So like this, you need to fill these many columns it is saying in general. But in reality, you want to either if you have these many custom fields, right? Student feedback in name, college name. So these are the columns it is expecting by you to want to create a data. Okay. So like this, we will be using the templates. So templates will be given by the system only. Download a template for a data import. Sample data. So if you want to see how to map, you want to know, right, which are everything. So for that you will be using, it will take some time to, you can ignore. Now data encryption. So personally, I never use this data encryption. So basically, if you want to encrypt anything and if you want to keep it in the system, you will be using this encryption. Now if you see this is some encryption key, and if you want to use some new encryption key, so this will be used for basically encrypt. Why we do use encrypt? Whenever whenever importing or exporting, if we have the proper encrypt only, that will be deserialized, right? So for that purpose, we will be using. But in normal CRM scenario, we don't require. Okay. Now, if you see, you have export field translations. So basically, right now, we have only English language it is supporting, right? If you see in the admin Power Platform level, what language we have chosen, we have selected only. But Microsoft supports various languages. So all region language like European languages, Chinese language, Japan, everything it will support. So whenever you are working for multiple companies, multiple regions, multiple things, you will be needed for translating, right? Translation basically, suppose in your system you are saying college name something, but in their language they will be saying something else, right? In their language. So for that purpose, we will be using these translations, these options. Okay, export field translation, import field translation, basically mapping. Now, if you see here, we have new option view deleted records. So this is recently added in the CRM. So what will happen now? If you delete any record, you can restore it. So same like gallery, if you delete any record, we are just image we are restoring, right? Same way, if you delete anything, it will be appearing here. So right now I have deleted one student feedback, right? But it's not reflecting because maybe I need to enable the flag here. In the environment level, you need to go to features, go to settings, here go to product, click on features, map, delete, enable deletion, it is recycle bin, admin can view enable recycle bin once data was stable, configure recover time. I'm just giving 30. Something went wrong in the, I think we need to give 28 only. The maximum is 28. Why it's not enabled? Up to 30 days. 2 days. So we need to enable this recycle bin. If you enable this recycle bin, this feature will work. What is that feature? View deleted records. So if you record a student record, mistakenly someone deleted that record. Now if you want to restore it, so for that purpose, you will be using this all deleted section. By default, it's not reflecting because we haven't enabled this in the feature environment level. You have to enable this, but here we are getting some error. We need to, something went wrong due to this problem process of the support ticket. Recycle feature is not available for this organization due to being a trial. So if you see, as it's a trial org, they are not supporting. In general, we won't be using the trial org, right? We will be using sandbags or production orgs. So for the sandbags orgs, it will be supported. Getting any questions? So like this, we will be doing all kind of data altering data operations from this data management section. Okay, any questions? So what I'm expecting now. So instead of creating manually records, you want to use Excel or CSV files to create some table. So create some new table record. I want to create 500 records or 1000 records like that with a CSV format. After that, you want to modify the records with this Excel. Like that, you need to try. So you need to understand what is data mapping, everything. Okay. So that's the task for today. Chalo. Thanks, guys. Any questions?